Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my friends. How's it going out there? Hope you guys had yourselves an excellent weekend, inshallah. Of course, this is the world-famous headache-inducing today's show with myself, Habibul. How are you guys out there? You all right? You all right? Yeah, of course you're all right. It's Monday evening, and we're starting the show the entire week, actually, with purpose and power. Tonight, we're talking construction, but it isn't just about bricks and blueprints. It's a whole lot more than that. We're joined by three incredible, fantastic, amazing guests from Muslims in Construction. Ishaaq, a senior mechanical engineer, and of course, the co-founder of Muslims in Construction as well. Saqib, a chartered quantity surveyor and tech innovator, and Habibul, the London lead for Muslims in Constructions. These are men building more than structures. They're building community and representation in an industry where our voices are still growing. Let's meet them now. Assalamu alaikum, gentlemen.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are you guys?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Did you make it through the cold London evening?
Just about.
SubhanAllah. The weather's just changed overnight, isn't it? SubhanAllah. Ishaaq, mashallah, co-founder as well of Muslims in Constructions. Sounds very interesting. Why did you start it and what's it all about?
So the reason why we started Muslim Construction is we wanted to create a platform where Muslims can connect and empower each other. It came off the back of a group that was called MEP Brothers, where it was mechanical and electrical brothers that came together as engineers. And we thought we encountered so many different construction professionals that aren't engineers, so why don't we widen to Muslims in Construction? And that's how Muslims in Construction was born.
MashaAllah. Habibul, why is it important to be like visual, to representation for Muslims in such a high-pressure profession?
Brilliant question. I think the emphasis is also on our faith. So we're faith-driven, and I think sometimes we get into the world of construction or in an industry and we may lapse that for a moment to kind of work up the hierarchy, and especially when you're young, you've graduated and you come into this sort of environment. As we know, construction very male-dominated, very white. So it's trying to change that perception that us as Muslims, we've got the technical capability, we've got the capacity in terms of our network, and if the opportunity arises, we should also follow through that. And our faith shouldn't stop us from preventing us excelling within the industry.
Talking about faith, I want to ask all of you, you know, as you mentioned before, it is quite a high-pressure job. There's a lot of responsibility, and you're being scrutinized as well by the work you do. How do you balance that kind of pressure with the everyday running of being a Muslim, praying 5 times a day, fasting, etc.? I don't know who wants to
I'll
take
go
it
first.
Ishaaq.
I would say start with your faith and make everything else work around it. And if you do that, it works.
Yeah, and alhamdulillah, I would say it's communication. Make your team, make your managers, make the people around you aware of what you're doing. You know, for Jummah prayers that you need to fast, and people are very accommodating.
Yeah, and just echoing that, I suppose when we came into the industry, it wasn't easy for us. For example, on a positive note, you go to a site, a lot of large project sites, they'll have porta cabins, but they'll have wudu khana, or they have prayer facilities as well. So they are accommodating, and it's about the educating piece, you know, letting people know that, yes, they know what Islam or Muslim is roughly about, but what do we need when we're working on a site or working in the offices, and as the brothers alluded to, prayer when Ramadan comes. And it's just that ease of communication in advance, so everyone's fully aware, educating themselves as well, and inshallah, you know, then you'll get rewarded by having those facilities.
Alhamdulillah. So in many ways, you are all pioneers in this particular field. I mean, somebody has to go out there, somebody has to be that canary in the coal mine, so to speak. What has been the response regarding Muslims in that environment with these kind of special facilities? What has been the overall response?
Okay, I mean, I'll start. 15 years ago, when I went into the industry, out of the first company I joined, out of 600 people, I was the only Muslim. And at first, I felt very intimidated. You know, I'm sitting at a table around people that maybe I don't connect with from a cultural basis, from a faith basis, but it was really just came down to just communicating, making people aware that, you know, on our Friday, don't have a meeting between 12 and 2, I need to go for Jummah. And over the years, the more I mentioned that, the more it became, yes, we're all aware of it now, you know, with halal food as well. It was like it became a normal thing. So I think it's I've seen it change over 15 years, and it's become better, a lot more awareness, alhamdulillah.
And with Muslims, I've seen a lot of appreciation for spaces like Muslims in Construction. So I've seen people that have said, look, without this, I wouldn't actually know where to reach out and kind of ask difficult questions that I shy away from at work.
Yeah, I think that's great because despite the current atmosphere, I think we've been catered to very nicely and people are very sympathetic to us. I remember I used to work in the cinema in Milton Keynes. Yes, Milton Keynes, so what? Right? And during Ramadan, the manager used to schedule my break from my fast, from my breaking of my fast. So he goes, when you're breaking your fast, let me know and I'll schedule a break then. So he'd make it very easy for me to accommodate me, which I thought was very nice. He didn't have to do that. Do you find sort of similar things happening with yourselves as well? Because obviously with the portrait cabins, but what other things are kind of fit that mould?
I think so. A big element to this is all about inclusive spaces and access and diversity, not just in the construction industry, but across the spectrum. People are more understanding, hold on, we need to cater for the minority. We are being the minority. So I think there's they have the acceptance to understand they need to do more. The larger corporate firms, whether it's construction and heavily on construction, so site and non-site basis, are kind of emphasizing that, right, we need to ask the questions as well. What do they need and how can we accommodate that? And just going back to one point about the pioneer, I think, alhamdulillah, we are not really pioneers. I'm sure there's a lot of brothers before us and sisters who have actually kind of pathed that way. But the idea is that we continue that and those that come into continue that as well.
Yeah. On talking about legacy, I want to speak to Habibul and Saqib about this particular point regarding, the next generation, because, sooner or later we have to pass the mantle, so to speak. How important is it for Muslims, male and female, to get involved in construction and to be represented in that kind of sphere?
Okay, alhamdulillah. I mean, I'll start. So at the moment, I'm a quantity surveyor, chartered QS. There's a huge shortage in the industry for quantity surveyors, and it's all over the news. The RICS, who I'm a member of, the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, they've actually released a paper on the shortage, and there's a lot of discussions and conversations going on around this at the moment, and I think it's a very fruitful career. You can path your own way, and you're essentially, when you're working on a building or an infrastructure project, you're part of that. So as an example, I worked on London Bridge about almost 10 years ago, and when I walk through London Bridge station now, I know that, I helped procure the signage, I helped procure the floor. It's nice to tell my kids as well that, look, Dad did this. Yes. Alhamdulillah, it helps you as you're walking around the environment that there's things that we can see. Habibul?
Yeah, I think echoing that, but as importantly, it's needed because everything in this world can be built and continues to be built. Alhamdulillah, masjids. If we're not in the world of construction, not just labour orientated, but as things get more pivotal around planning policies and etc., where are the brothers and sisters? So we need people to kind of go and educate and understand that discipline. So as masjids get built, madrasas, even initiatives for us to take back to our home countries, schools, education sector, hospital and so forth, it's all built around the construction. And any buildings will continue to be evolved and developed and maintained. So there is always going to be a need within the industry.
Now, construction doesn't automatically come to mind when you think about a career for Muslims. Personally speaking, did you find it difficult to get into that industry as opposed to being a doctor or a lawyer or something along those, or an engineer? Did any of you find it difficult, or was it kind of pretty much a smooth path? Or what I'm saying before, is that a stereotype?
I would say maybe it is a stereotype, but a lot of people I speak to, especially quantity surveyors, a lot of us have kind of fallen into it. My sort of process came in from just seeing an extension on my house, thinking, the builder's calculating things, where's that come from? And speaking to people around me, and I kind of thought, I like numbers, I like looking at buildings, I like working in a building. What's the path there? And then, it was really just from speaking to people around my environment, and they said, look, there's a QS role that you could potentially do. It's like an accountant, but for buildings. So alhamdulillah, it worked out.
Yeah. For myself, background, family trade's been in the hospitality, restaurant industry. As a Bangladeshi, it's in our blood. So naturally, I thought pivotal at that point. But at a young age, I kind of interested in house building, architectural. But I wanted to be a kind of a builder, but not somewhat a builder, an architect. So I thought, okay, let's look into it. And through education, again, I think the key element here is about education, making sure you put your head down and say, right, what is out there? Alhamdulillah, I managed to secure a placement at UCL doing project management and construction. And from there, it kind of evolved. It took off from there. And ever since, I've been in the world of construction, whether it's client side or non-client side, consultancy based. it was, alhamdulillah, again, all praise to Allah, somewhat an easy route, but not easy because I had to put the effort in, doing your A-levels, whatever it may be, to make sure, and even that degree, just because you got into that course doesn't mean that's it, you're going to sail through. You have to put the time and effort and have the faith within that.
Following that up, following Habib's mention of education there, for me, I always loved maths and I loved pure maths, but I didn't know how that could be represented in the real world. At one point, I had some career advice that said, be an engineer, and I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, and I was like, mechanical engineer is very broad. You can either you can do robotics or you can do design, right? Or you can do, there's a very wide range of engineering items that you could do with mechanical engineering, and I just happened to fall into construction because it is big in London. So that's my story there.
Now, AI is pretty big right now. It's happening everywhere. Even I'm using AI, to be honest. Because, if you don't get on board now, when are you going to get on board? So, Saqib, you've created an AI assistant for quantity surveyors.
That's
sounds very complicated. Sounds very involved. What made you do it, brother?
Okay, so alhamdulillah, I created a tool called QSassistant.ai, and it came about from after I did my chartership. I had a lot of brothers reach out to me through a group called Muslim Quantity Surveyors, and they wanted advice. How do you go through this process? And I was continuously having to share my story, and then not only share my story, I was having to teach people the different competencies that are required to become chartered. And it was the same questions over and over again. And I thought, how can I make my life easier, but also help the brothers and the sisters that are wanting this information? That's when AI came along, and this light bulb moment went in my head that AI is available 24/7. After 5 p.m, I'm burnt out. I can't ask any more questions. I can't answer any more questions. So I sat down with a team, and I essentially took the AI chatbot, and we put a lot of programming and engineering language on top of it. So the tool now thinks like a chartered quantity surveyor. You can, as a graduate or an assistant or anyone even with a bit more experience that just wants a little bit of help, a little bit of advice, you can just ask the tool, and it will use industry standard guidance to give you the answer that you're required to use for your work, and it will just essentially help you along. So an assistant can come along, new in the industry. They may be a little bit nervous. They don't know what question to ask. They might think it's a silly question. Well, you've got the tool to ask. The tool will give you a structured answer, and it will say, go and think about these things. You can then go to your manager and say, I've had to think, this is what I think it is. Here's some more questions I've got. Can you help me? Which are very project specific. So alhamdulillah, that's how it's come about.
But you're not concerned that what you've created won't supplant you or take you over and replace you? 'Cause I mean, that's what everybody's talking about. Everyone think about Terminator or The Matrix stuff like, or Ultron. But is that a real concern for yourself, or is it just a tool for now?
I would say for now it's just a tool. But if you look at what's happening in the world, in the industry, a lot of things are becoming automated. If people are not going to use AI, then they're going to get left behind. AI is a very quick way of getting information. You can either sit there and go through 34 guidance notes to find one answer, or you can ask the tool and say, from this RICS guidance note, can you give me this answer? And it will give you the exact line, the clause, the page. It will give you exactly what you need to do your work. There's a faster way of getting information.
It's convenient, isn't
That's
it?
right.
Ishaaq, you've worked on some major projects. Has there been a moment in your career that you're really proud of?
Alhamdulillah, I'm blessed to have worked on projects ranging from £300,000 to £130 million. And alhamdulillah, it's been great work on all those. I think in a way I pride myself in every single project, because what I love doing is I love taking a project from where it is to a high quality of engineering and a high quality of quality assurance, and making sure everything is done properly. And that's what that's what I pride myself on. And I think that's something that Islam also advocates for, ihsan, being the best that you can possibly be.
Alhamdulillah.
So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Habibul, I understand there's an event coming up soon. Tell us about that.
There is, yes. Muslims in Construction Gala event. So as many may not know, but the idea is that, first of all, MIC was founded 2023, so just a few years back. Relatively from that, it's grown organically. The event is going to be held in Royal Nawabs in Perryville, Saturday the 29th of November from 6 p.m. The primary objective is an award show to give back to those individuals that have succeeded and excelled within the industry. It's an opportunity for network and also people that may not quite understand, should I be going into the industry of construction, to ask the questions, meet with like-minded individuals. And it's aimed at individuals not just from a senior level or leadership or those own businesses, but also apprentices, graduates, and those coming into the platform. And it's an opportunity to kind of evolve, network, meet with like-minded individual within the industry, inshallah.
Maybe we can debunk some stereotypes or some misconceptions right now with the next
100%.
questions. Are there stereotypes or misconceptions about construction that people have, that it's only for labourers and it's dirty work? Or
100%. I think, unfortunately, from day one when I started, first of all, male-dominated was one of the misconceptions. It's not just male-dominated, so it's open to brothers and sisters. And then people used to think it's a hard hat, high-vis and dirty boots and you just go into the ground and that's it, and you come home mucky. There's a lot more than that. You know, you can be working in the offices from HR to legal to finance, BIM modelling. Again, we talk about BIM modelling. We talk about...
we've got details on the screen.
We've got the details on the screen, alhamdulillah, so people do, have a look and also log on to our website, inshallah, for further information. But yeah, as I was going back to, the opportunity is phenomenal, especially in this current day and age with AI and the digital element that's evolving. Design-wise, we think about just architectural, but there's more than just architects. There's MEP and so forth. So it's a whole spectrum, and there's also a whole life cycle within the construction, from where people start from the beginning all the way through the building maintenance, for example. It's always evolving.
Did you want to add to that?
Just wanted to add to that. If you just think about, everyone sees construction and thinks about it as people doing work. Just think about the other side of it. How does this person that's putting this pipe in know that he's putting it in the right place? There's been people that have thought about it. There's people that have drawn it. There's someone that has procured it. There's someone that... So there's been so many processes that has happened for that to reach site. So I would say most of the work is actually not on site. And eventually it does get to site. But I would say there's so many roles, from engineer to project manager to quantity surveyor to procurement engineers. There's loads of different roles. So just think about what needs to happen before that gets to site, and work your way back, and you can see all the careers that are in construction.
Interesting, yeah. I want to talk about the to attract more people to the job. How does the industry need to evolve or change or adapt for younger generations coming in?
I will start with, I think the industry is a little bit slow at changing. So AI has come along, and there's a lot of hesitation about whether we should be using it, but people are using it. I mean, every day we now can actually see when someone's written a report using AI, we can see it, right? We can detect that it's so perfect, or maybe it's got little dashes and things in it that we can see. But I think the industry needs to, anyone new coming into the industry, I would advise that learn how to be a bit more tech savvy now. It's gone from you don't need technology when you're working in construction to now you do need it, because there's so many tools. Just to manage a contract now, you've got software to prepare cost plans. Just coming from a quantity surveyor point, we use a piece of software now to write a report as well. You'll have a template, and we've got AI to help you fill out this report. You just need the human aspect to it to make the changes, make sure it's relevant to what you're doing, what you're talking about on site.
Mashallah, that's interesting.
I would just, if I may, just add one other element, is the people skills element. So within the environment, you've got to remember you are dealing with individuals, with people. So it's making sure we still have the basic or fundamentals about, and again, this comes to Islam, how do you speak and treat others as well in an environment such as that? So it's just making those basic etiquettes within our religion and taking them along with the journey within your field.
Staying with you, brother, I want to ask about how are you preparing, what are you doing to prepare youngsters for coming into the industry and kind of finding their feet, so to speak?
Alhamdulillah. So alhamdulillah, I graduated in project management, as in getting my chartership from RICS only just over a year ago, alhamdulillah. So as a way of giving back, myself and Saqib, we run CPD seminars. So this is continuous professional development, which has to be done. So those that come within the industry, a lot of them would want to go down the RICS route to get accredited, and they have their APC journey. So we've created a platform on WhatsApp and also doing CPD sessions on Teams, and also we'll be hosting them within the RICS headquarters in London next year as well. And the idea is we give those back with industry relevant individuals coming in, giving seminars. But also the idea is that there's a Q&A sessions that we host on a weekly basis, those who are going through the APC. So they have a kind of a platform where they can ask relevant questions and get the relevant information. Aside from that as well, we also do ensure we do mock interviews in terms of so that they're ready and prepared for their examination for APC.
MashaAllah. Saqib, similar question, but for sisters, because once again, you know, we have to make sure the sisters are represented as well. What sort of things are happening in order to kind of include the sisters in the industry?
Ishaaq's the best person.
So we've got in Muslims Construction, we've got a WhatsApp group that is dedicated to sisters only, where they have bi-weekly workshops where they, one, get to know each other, talk about their problems, and we've created a safe space there. We are also big on promoting sisters and making sure that sisters get the visibility that they need and also the help that they need, and that is available all throughout our WhatsApp group, alhamdulillah.
Do you find that a lot of women are interested in the profession, or is it something that, you know, for whatever reason they're being excluded?
I find that, so initially when I started, which is about 7-8 years ago, there was a bit less, there was more hesitation, but I do find women, specifically Muslim women, being, you know, trying to get involved in the industry more and more, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, and I'll just add on to that, if you look at how we're dressed, this is how we are pretty much day to day. So it is where we work in these professional environments. It is very clean. It can be very flexible. It depends how you pass your way. So you can be on site day to day, or you can sit in the office, client facing, and you're dealing with the client on a regular basis, and you're essentially working in front of a computer. So.
What role, both of you, what role does mentorship play in this industry?
Okay, Alhamdulillah. I'll let you say.
Yeah, I was going to say mentor a big role in terms of we didn't get the opportunity to have like-minded individuals from our background to kind of mentor us and path us and the opportunity that arises. So therefore, we're trying to give back now those that are coming and seeking within the world of construction and built environment, whether from my background as PM, QSs or other relevant roles. We're trying to get that commitment from individuals of senior leadership to say we need to give our time back those people that need the support and help, and we need to grow and encourage them. And that's the network. That's where we're trying to promote that and emphasize that we are here, the brothers and sisters, especially for those that need the support and help, especially in the earlier career, to make sure we can give them what's required and learn from lessons learned from how did we do certain action or any situation, and hopefully try to inspire and perspire them as well, and let them carry on that.
Sort of similar note, I mean, no industry is without its challenges. Are there any particular challenges that you seem to be encountering again and again that needs to be sort of thought about seriously? Whatever the case may be. I don't know if it's a barrier for Muslims or just a barrier for people in general.
One thing, and I think it's always going to come back to it, it's about educating the individuals, non-Muslims, who may, again, the usual question when Ramadan comes, you can't drink water, you can't have food. So again, and we've gone through this again, but it kind of has that image associated with it. So it's making sure we portray a clear educational piece to those to say, right, and alhamdulillah, it's coming along. A lot of the institutes are doing that, but it's rebriefing them, I suppose, in some aspect.
And, you know, just touching on the mentorship part, when new people come into the industry, and we have a lot of QSs who are graduates, a lot of them do reach out to me on LinkedIn, because I've written in there that I'm an APC mentor, I counsel and I support people. And when a new person comes to me, I give them that advice. I say to them, look, you've just started in your, as a fresh graduate, you don't need to know everything, but be vocal, communicate with your team. If you need to go and pray, if you need to go and do something, just let people know, or block it out in your diary. For Jummah, put an hour in your diary that you're not going to, you're out of office for that time. And that's what helps build trust, so people know where you are.
You're not
that's
doing things dodgy.
Right.
They don't think, oh, why is he going all of a sudden?
Exactly.
You let everyone know.
Yeah, you let people know. And as someone early in the career, that is what this Muslims in Construction really helps with. Alhamdulillah, we have over 600 people in a WhatsApp community group.
Yeah, because you don't actually work together, do you?
No,
you're
we
in
don't.
different firms, aren't you?
All
Different
separate.
firms,
It's not like
different
your
jobs.
buddies,
We've not even had the privilege yet to
Have you
work a
met
project.
before?
We met before, yeah.
But, you know,
Of course, yeah.
But I think one of the underlying principles is to make sure that, again, mentorship is ask questions. Do not shy away from asking a question. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of brothers and sisters can take away when they come into this environment.
100%.
Gentlemen, we have to wrap it up now, unfortunately.
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming in, mashallah. And once again, all the best with everything you do, inshallah.
Jazakallah. Thank you very much.
Jazakallah. Right, now we're ending the night with more than 50. We're going to go for a very quick break. We'll be back in a short while. It came back on. Did you see that?
Yeah.